Yo, credit repair business owners, this is the no gatekeeping. I'm showing you everything on how exactly we consistently get 3 to 6x ROAS on our credit repair ads. Yes, return on ad spend. Every single week, we're predictably doing 3 to 6x on the amount of money that you put into Facebook ads. And the way that we do this is exactly what I'm about to show you. This is no gatekeeping. I'm showing the exact ad strategies and how we consistently do these every single week by keeping track of all of our shit on Notion. So let's go straight to the... What is up, credit repair business owners? You already know we're running ads to help you hit more consistent six-figure a month marks. In order to be able to do so, we got to start off some of the foundational steps over here. We need to be able to understand how we can properly optimize your ads, not to just get you the cheapest cost per result, but to actually make you money. So for this video, we're going to be talking about one of my clients over here is Gary. Gary's doing great in his credit repair business. He's a new client of ours. We've been running his lead game for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks now. He's doing pretty good. He's been averaging around 2 to 3 new clients a week joining up. But we need to optimize his campaigns so that he can allocate more of a budget to the actual winning ads so that we can scale this shit up to the moon. We want Gary to be hitting consistent six-figure month marks with the addition of ads. Even to understand this, of course, we need to understand how to really optimize his ads. So let me kind of break down exactly how we make this shit happen. We have 2 parts of this. Obviously, we do have KPIs and a daily intake and understanding of what our appointment setters are doing, but this is how I handle it from the ad management side. So to be able to even preface this, we're running an ad to create message conversations in the DM, IG, and Facebook DMs. And then we have appointment setters chatting with those people, scheduling up calls for a closer to then close them on the call. Boom, that's the funnel right there, okay? Now, let me show you exactly how we optimize it based upon, revenue actually driven. Excuse me. So cool. This is the actual main KPI sheet that we use for our appointment setters. Because with our appointment setters, we want to understand like this basic information. We want to understand how many leads are responding, how many people are actually scheduling calls, how many are actually closing. And this is our main micro view of what the appointment setter is doing on a daily basis for us to be able to get this macro view of the actual numbers, so us to be able to understand how to make decisions. So you really do have to have both. You need to have an understanding of what's going on daily in terms of your appointment setters to make this funnel, possible and successful. And then you have to have a macro version of this to understand how to really, optimize these ads. Because you see over here, check this out, because this is a great example over here. So this is this week from March 16th to the 22nd. We spent around $600. We closed around 3 deals over here. But take a look at this, because we have this one ad over here, which is this image. We're going to show this image. Boom, this is image over here. And then we got this ad over here, which is this image over here. And look at this. We spent $240 on this ad, $73 on this one. This one over here has a better click-through rate. But the other one over here made more money to it. So if you don't understand what's happening on a daily basis in terms of what's actually getting closed, you might come over the back over here and be like, yo, this one has a better click-through rate. Let me just push more of a budget to here and lower this one. But that would be a mistake, because if we would lower the budget on this one, this is the ad that's actually making you money over here. Why would you want to lower that ad? This one over here didn't make any money this week. This is the one I'm probably going to decrease the budget to. This one I'm actually going to increase the budget to. So what's really great about Facebook ads and using this in conjunction with GoHighLevel and having appointment setters is that you're able to use something called UTM tracking. Yeah, there's other third-party tracking like Blue Whale, and you got like ROAS over there that can make this a lot easier for you. But for a simplicity's sake, for what you can do action steps right now, if you don't want to spend like $300 to $500 a month on ROAS, is you can use something called UTM tracking. And before I even get into this video, let me just start out with this fucking value point over here, because nobody really fucking does this, honestly. Go to the very bottom. You have something called URL parameters or UTM source tracking over here, in which case you can add tracking codes to your actual ads. So if you go into GoHighLevel, you can specifically see what ad brought in what lead or what call, or what client, or what closed deal. So that allows you ultimately to just optimize your ads based upon what's actually working. So today, let's go through an entire live optimization of my ads to show exactly what I'm actually doing these clients, so you can replicate similar results to yourselves. As you see over here, take a look. Let's show you what's been going on for this past month over here. So over here, this is all the sketch, excuse me, the calls over here are showing what exactly showed up, what closed, different things like that. Pretty much over here, just macro version. Sometimes I really have all this, because this for me is enough numbers for me. I like these numbers, you know. Boom. This is the numbers that we really want to be able to understand. Total leads. Whoops, let me do that. These are the numbers that I want to get from appointment centers on a daily basis. Total leads, responses, qualified percentage. How many people are actually qualified from these calls? Call booked. So how many were actually booked? Call shown and closed. Obviously, you also want to know things like common objections. My closers typically tell me that. And when I take with the objections, and I think this just makes sense, and you might be doing this yourself, is the objections, just take those objections and we throw into retargeting or other ad copy, literally throw into our AI GPT to build that better ad copy for us. Boom, let me show you this. So this is this week over here. Last week over here, we got a 0 ROAS. The week before that, 5.89, 5, and 6 when we started. This week, we got a 0 ROAS over here because my client didn't really take too many sales calls himself. I don't really know what happened over here, to be honest. So I'm not going to really use this as like a standard message base point over here. Every now and then something happens in the business that I have like really no control over. Whereas in this case, they were switching around a couple of commission-based closers, and the actual business owner stopped taking a couple of the calls. So this is where we're going to do a lot of the optimization based upon these numbers rather than this one, because no money was really made that week. But nonetheless, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Yes. So check a look at this. So this week over here, this ad over here spent just about the same amount of ad over here. When you're running ads, really just want to test one thing at a time. In which case, this one over here was our previous converting ad over here. In which case, it was doing well for us. It was making us money. It was getting us consistent like 3x ROAS. If you look in the past week over here, boom, boom, let's go over like here. I was using that ad as well too. I was testing out with different copies. I was testing out with like a hook story offer copy and different things like that. Over here, I was also testing the same thing out. Over here, what I test out. Over here, I introduced a new type of ad image over here. In which case I got no closes. The same one was doing good. So I decided to, rather than testing out a different type of copy, we just started to type of, no, excuse me, rather than typing a different type of copy over here, try to test out a different type of words. This week over here, we realized that we tried to test out the image something different, and we realized it wasn't working as well. So the next week over there, we tried to test out between, rather than just using a different type of image over here, we tried to test out a different type of copy, a wealthier copier. And as you can see over here, last week we didn't even closes, but we saw that the engagement rate, because we use a wealthy different type of copy, increased a lot. And we got one scheduled call over there, obviously no closes over there. But this week over here kind of did prove it to us that this wealthier copy over here is actually doing some damage. So like, for example, this wealthier copy over here, yeah, it did get a lower click-through rate, but it got a higher engagement rate. And it looks to me, like, let's say we do the math under here. Let's say we open up another one. Let's do this. Just show up rate percent. Let's just look at this just for fun, right quick. Ultimately, I'm honestly going to optimize towards what's actually making more money. Let's take a look at this. So this is like a 30% show up right here. What is this? 5 divided by 7. 5 divided by 7. This is a 70%. So a 70% show up rate versus like a 30% show up rate. Obviously, we kind of know which one's a little bit better over here. And not even just by the show up rates, you can already judge that the wealthier copy is doing better just because probably more money. Honestly. Cool. So check this out. So what this is telling me over here is that this is a better copy over here. So I'm going to move that one over to the scale. This one over here, we might want to test out a couple of different ad graphics that we can utilize over here. Maybe throw in a couple of videos on here as well too on top of that. So what's this one over here? Facebook app only. Don't worry about that. This one is, all right, so let's rock over here. So let's go over to here. And let's actually look into the actual ad account. Let me show you how to optimize this. So we do have a lot that's going on over here. We got retargeting, we got a hammer strategy. But let's focus just on this for now. Okay, so credit I Credit incubator is what the asterisk is called. And I'm testing out the copy over here. Whereas this one over here, Facebook only test incubator, testing out the videos over here. But the videos over here, honestly, hasn't really spent enough to really make that much of a difference over here for me to really be able to understand like what moves we should make over here. Here's the main one that we were testing out over here, which was this one. So this is the one that we're going to really, what I want to do here is this is where we were testing shit out. So what I'm going to do now is in this court and back, and back over here, we already spent enough money to be able to tell us that, hey, by now we should have gotten a sale from this one, but we really have not yet. So what that's telling me over here is I'm probably just going to close this one out. And then what I'm going to do is this one over here in my incubator test copy over here is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to duplicate this one. I'll move it over to our scaled ad set. Just like that. Go through copy. Oops. Save to draft. And the reason why I'm moving towards to scale is because as you can see over here, the incubator copy while I'm testing, I'm only allocating like 10% of that. Retargeting is another 10%. In which case, our hammer strategy is like another 10 to 20%. So that's 40% that are already taken up. 60% of the budget is going to be allocated to the scale. So this one's done over here. This test is finalized. So I'm going to knock that out. Boom, knock that one out. Knock that one out. That's what we were testing before. Let's go between the time dates from the, actually, let me just make sure this is up real quick. Let me pause it, make sure it's up. I always make sure I double check everything, especially UTMs. I don't want to bore you real quick, but let me just make sure this is up properly. All right, cool. Let me just make sure I'm sharing the right screen over here again. But check this out. So I just moved that one over. I just double checked everything. I like to triple check my shit because this is other people's money, obviously. What I'm saying is that now this week over here, we have two winners over here. These are doing good for us. So what I'm going to do is I want to see if that after this week, this wealthier copy produces significant better results. And if it does, I'm going to allocate most of the budget just to this one over here. But this week, what we're doing, we're going to be testing out this stuff over here. Excuse me, this stuff over here. This is what we're testing. Honestly, this one over here it is working. Bring it up. If you see that the ads are consistently working, like last week, I wasn't able to really increase the budget because there was no deals that week. Something happened in the back end and we weren't able to understand. Now this week over here, we saw a couple more deals come on it. Great. So now every 12, 24, sometimes even 48 hours, we increase and scale up that budget by at least 10 to 15%. We don't want to scale up too much because sometimes you got to get inconsistent results. And if you scale it up too much, like let's say we just double up the ad spend at once to 140, this might get too high. We want to try to keep it under $5. Boom. So this week over here, we got incubation over here. We got the videos that we're testing over here. We got 2 video ads that he recorded over here that we're going to be testing. So the way I'm going to play this is let me share my screen over here now. Let me kind of just show you how we set this shit up. Let me pause over here real quick. All right, cool. I just didn't want to bore you guys because I put in these 2 videos over here, in which case these are the videos that we'll be testing out for this week. It did spend a little bit last week because I did implement it last week at the end of last week, I think on the weekend. Today is Monday. So we're on the ad account now. So let me kind of just show you how I set this things up. In which case, oops, there. Cool. So this week over here, boom, boom, boom. We're going to here. This is what I do. First, I'm going to take this. I'm just going to duplicate this so that we can have one for next week. I'll duplicate it with the content. I'll throw this into here. We'll take this. We'll duplicate this. Wish I can duplicate that without the content, but it's okay. Take this. Throw them onto here. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So now we got to understand, this is like our daily, our weekly reporting that we give to the client, where the client can always just go in here and check it out, just to make his life easier so he doesn't have to scroll through all this shit, check everything out. But check this out. So this is what we do. Cost per lead. Our target is $3 per lead. How are we looking right now? What are we averaging? We are averaging, you may make $4 per lead. So we're a little bit higher. So that means we kind of need, and we usually are at around $3 per lead. So what's kind of telling me is we need to kind of add a couple of more graphics onto here to split tests. So our cost is around $4, so it is going up. Profitability, CPA, cost per acquisition. The cost per acquisition, what are we looking at right now? So we got 3 deals, 3K divided by 633. So we go to that. So it is 3 divided by 633. Oops, actually that's the ROAS 3,000. Cost to acquire a client. So you got 3 clients, so 633 divided by 3. 211 to acquire a client. Cost per acquisition is 211. ROAS is 3,000. So you got a 4.7 ROAS. ROAS a little bit lower than what we typically expect, but that's okay. We just spent a little bit more this time. We're still profitable. We're still looking G money. What was it? What did I say? It was like a 4.7. 4.7. Close 3K. Boom. All right, so this week we were at 211 to acquire a client. ROAS 4.7. You know, it goes in and out. Engagement rate on 51%. How's the engagement rate looking? 50. So on the wealthier copy over here is a 58, so it's above. This one over here, we did cut this one out. So, I mean, we are above it. So we're still doing good. We're on track on engagement rate. Yep, we're good. We're closing at least 10%. How we're looking here. Let's go over to here. Edit property, type, number, calculate more options. Oops, fuck. More options, sum, 165. So we're kind of a little lower than 10% over there. So 165 divided by a little bit lower. So what this is telling me over here is that the problems that we need to do is we need to introduce a couple more ad copies. We got to find a couple more winners. So I know we got the videos over here. So problems. One of the problems that I'm seeing is that the cost per lead is going up slightly. So we need to find more winning ads. Boom. So right now what we're doing, last week's plan, what was last week's plan? Was to figure out why shit wasn't converting or closing. And we ended up figuring out that the reason why that happened, it was because the closers. Did it work? So we figured out yes. Now we closing deals. All right, so does the plan for this month need to change? The plan doesn't need to necessarily change over here. We just need to make sure that we got to get at least 5 winners over here. Right now, we only got 1 winner. We got 2 more videos that we're testing. Actually, we got 2 winners over here, but with 2 different copies. I'd like to get a couple more graphics or videos onto there. So what does this plan need to do? This week's plan, does this plan need to change? Add more, yeah, create more graphic ads. Maybe even test putting the price on there. Create more graphics ad. And what we also need to do is on our hammer strategy. Our hammer strategy is pretty much where we rotate all the best content to the people that click until they actually purchase. The frequency is going up a little bit on there. So what that's telling me is that we need to rotate a couple more pieces of content to these people. So we do need to introduce more hammer strategy. That's content rotating. And then what we might even want to do right now is we got another ad that's currently going out to schedule calls. What I'm thinking is we might also want to introduce another retargeting to just create more conversations. Small retargeting to create more convos. Because previously we just had that just schedule an appointment, but let's see how that does over there. Depends. Does anything of that depend on him? I mean, more images from him would be great. More value-based vids from clients for Hammer Strategy. More graphics for ads. He's really only got that one graphic for him, in which case he's in front of this. I'm not really too crazy about, and I'm really not too crazy about how we edited this one over here. It doesn't look too the best. So we're gonna make a couple more graphic ads on there. The videos I think those videos are gonna produce pretty well for him though. We're just go back to the plan of attack over here. Cool. Still doing a 4.7, which is really good. But yeah, that's how we pretty much set it up for week by week. We also do a monthly as well too. So now this is telling me over here, I'm going to get with the client, just do a couple more ads over here. I'm gonna get my graphic designer to make a couple more graphics as well so we can test because we need to find a couple more winners. We want to have at least 5 winners, that we're scaling up. I mean, we are at a crazy high budget, the one that we're scaling over here, but we're almost up to $100 a day. We've got 2 winners over here, which is good. That's probably going to turn into next week into 1 winner over here. Mostly, I'm probably going to allocate the budget towards a wealthier copier if that proves my theory proves to be right. So probably allocate it to there, but we got to find a couple more winners on here. So that's this week's plan over here is to find más winners. So the video ads over here are going to be testing. This is the graphic testing. So that's copy testing. I'm going to go with my graphic designer to make a couple more graphics over here for us to test. And that should be able to allow us to run it up pretty well over here. What I'm even thinking about doing too is because this wealthier copy is doing a little bit better over here. What I think I honestly want to do is grab this wealthier copy and introduce the video over here. Because $13 per is a little high. I'm wondering, was this the same copy that we're using for this? This is the one that we're scaling. If you're tired, if you're tired of getting denied from loans, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. So I'm actually not going to test out with the newer copy. If after this week that this scale one produces and it proves to me that this wealthier copy produces, then I'll change up the videos as well too. But this is already producing from the previous. So I don't really want to test up too much in terms of the control. Like this is our OG over here. This is our control. So when I'm testing out this new video ads over here, I really don't want to change out too much in terms of the actual control, in terms of the copy, which is the control. I'd rather change out the graphics for the videos and see if that's converting and doing a little bit better for us. So that's what we're going to be testing out this week and see if that does better. If it does do better, we'll move over to the scale. Honestly, I'm probably going to introduce a graphic onto ears. I do want to test out at least 1 graphic on top of that. But yeah, guys, that's exactly how we increase your lead quality. It's exactly how we do. The past couple of weeks, we've been doing fucking 5+X ROAS, which is really good. That is better than what typically people do. I tell my clients, like, listen, we're trying to get a 3X ROAS in your money. 6X ROAS, my client's fucking happy. So that's great. So we do have money to play around with, is what it's telling us. We do have a little leeway because I'm trying to keep it just above a 3X ROAS. What things that do decrease that 3X ROAS is when I introduce a bunch of testing copy, because that means we have to allocate more of a budget to other shit that might not work. So that does give me a little bit more leeway because we are above a ROAS, is what I'm trying to say. So it allows me to just give me a little more leeway to play around, test out more stuff to find more winners so we can really scale this shit up. But yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. And if you just want to skip the shortcut, if you want to just get into something that works using our experience and what works, reach out to me. I want to help you make more money because when I do, I get paid more. We do a percent of ad spend just because of this reason. I want to be able to have my results-based agency so that we can grow with you to grow. As you grow, we grow as well too. I don't want to have 1,000 different clients. I want to have a handful of clients that I know we can bring them to $1 million a month. Consistently, steadily there so that we get paid more. So I want to thank you guys for watching. God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, guys.